The women's ice hockey team went up against Cornell and Colgate this past weekend. How'd they fare?
Also, the MAAC announced its women's soccer all-conference teams for the regular season. Who made the cuts?
Plus, more news in men's soccer, field hockey, volleyball, and cross country. All this and more in this Sports Paws Halloween special, which starts right now. Welcome to Studio 125 for this Halloween special of Sports Paws. I'm Nick Antoniaz. Alongside me, I have women's soccer beat reporter Jackie Adrovo.
I'm excited to be hosting this year's Halloween edition of Sports Paws with you, Nick.
Not only is it just Halloween, but it's also both of our birthdays, so let's just kick it off with some women's ice hockey news, as they'll be traveling to Boston for an outdoor game in the beginning of January. The Bobcats will be going up against the Harvard Crimson on January 6th for the Frozen Fenway. The Bobcats will be playing outdoor at Fenway Park, home of the Boston Red Sox baseball team. The other teams that are going to compete at the Frozen Fenway are Boston University and Holy Cross. For the men's side, it is going to be Northeastern versus UConn, and finally UMass versus Boston College, which are both happening the day after the women's ice hockey games on January 7th. We will continue the women's ice hockey team as they went up against Cornell this past Friday. The number 7 Quinnipiac Bobcats hosted on the number 8 Cornell Big Red on the annual Do It for Daring game with Bring Awareness to Mental Health. Let's just jump right into the first period. Bobcats pressing early. The first-year superstar, Madison Chandler, takes a wrister from just under the blue line. The Bobcats take an early 1-0 lead. Not even a minute later, Zoe Ewens dishes one on net, and after the battle in front of the net, the puck finds Shea Maloney's stick to find the Bobcats a solid 2-0 lead at the end of the first period. Now entering the second frame, the Big Red did not let the two quick Bobcat goals in the first put them down, as Gilles Frechette gets one after an unfortunate bounce off the Bobcat defender's skate, cutting down the lead to 1. Logan Andrews stood tall throughout the game, making a huge save just like this one to keep the difference at 1 going into the third frame. Now we go into the third period as Logan Andrews continued her dominance in the game with another big save. With 5 minutes left, the Bobcats were able to capitalize on a 2-on-1 with a great pass to Hoskin and a better finish by Malabad to extend the lead to 2. And for the cherry on top, an empty netter by Labad, again for her to secure the 4-1 win. The Bobcats pick up a win to make it an 8-0 record. Each year, the Bobcats and Big Red bring light to mental health and wellness through Do It for Daring game. Here's women's ice hockey beat reporter David Klepfer with more.
The Quinnipiac Bobcats' annual game against Cornell has taken on a new tradition over the years in honoring Do It for Daring and spreading mental health awareness across the hockey world. Cass Turner spoke on why she feels it's important for her team to be leaders in raising mental health awareness through Do It for Daring.
It's been a part of our tradition with Cornell, just in the history with Darren Richardson's sister, Morgan Richardson, playing hockey at Cornell. And, you know, I think it's just so prevalent. Mental health needs to be something that we're comfortable to talk about and that we understand, and, you know, we're gracious with one another and give each other space to manage tough moments, tough situations. And, you know, I think for our team, we get that. We do that often with one another. So it's nice to see our group be somebody who can be leaders with that, you know, both on our campus and in college hockey, because I think that they do a nice job to be there for one another.
For Q30 Sports, I'm David Klepfer.
Thank you, David. Now, will the Bobcats keep this hot streak going against the back-to-back ECAC champs in Colgate? Well, let's see. Number 7 Quinnipiac hosts the number 4 Colgate Raiders, as both teams are undefeated to start off the season, but only one can keep their hot streak up alive. As we go just straight into the first period, as we see Alessa Hoskin throws the puck on the net, and the rebound is fired by Kate Riley and is tipped by Sadie Pierre on the way. The wrister puts the Bobcats up 1-0. Now we're gonna jump all the way to the third period as Logan Andrews takes the center stage. She smothers the puck, one of her 25 saves of the day. As you can see, here it is right here. Colgate would try to stay in it, but Zoe Boyd, without her stick, lays out for the block, and it's a great effort by the grad students. The Raiders pull the net, and the puck nearly goes in, but the ref says no goal. Moments later, Olivia Mobley will ice this one, scoring an empty netter to extend the lead 2-0. But Shea Maloney says, you know what, let me get into the party, as she scores an empty netter to make it a 3-0 game, as the Bobcats defeat the number 4 Colgate by a score of 3-0. After this past week, full of intense games for Quinnipiac, let's see where they stand in this week's UACHO poll. Up top is expected Minnesota with 18 first place votes. Then at second is the defending champions in Ohio State with 1 first place vote. Third is Wisconsin. Fourth is Quinnipiac with 1 first place vote. Minnesota Duluth at 5th. Colgate, who recently lost to Quinnipiac, dropped to 6th place. Northeastern at 7th. And to round up the top, at 8th place is the Yale Bulldogs. The biggest changes in the poll are Quinnipiac going from 7th to 4th, and Colgate going from 4th to 6th.
From women's rankings to men's rankings, after a bye weekend, let's see where Quinnipiac is ranked in this week's USCHO poll. Up top is Michigan with 22 first place votes, Denver at second with 15 first place votes. After being at first, Minnesota is now at third with a loss against Ohio State. Quinnipiac stayed in 7th this week in the USCHO polls after not playing for a week. The Bobcats' current record stands at 3 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties. This week, the team will return to the M&T Bank Arena when they face Colgate on Friday and Cornell on Saturday. Now let's go to the pitch for women's soccer. This past week, Quinnipiac ended their regular season with a game against Mount St. Mary's. Let's see how they did. This Wednesday, Quinnipiac faced off against Mount St. Mary's for their final game of the regular season. These two teams have not seen each other since 2012. We're going to jump right into the second half, as the first half remained scoreless the entire 45 minutes. First off, let's take a look at a corner kick from Michaela Bailey into the mass of players, allowing Olivia Scott to put one in the net, giving the Bobcats the 1-0 lead. Up next, a pass from Kaylin Ngachos to Michaela Bailey allows Olivia Scott to poke the ball into the net for her second goal of the game. The Bobcats take the 2-0 lead. For the third and final goal, a long pass to Rebecca Cook has her running down the field. She goes for the goal but is deflected toward Courtney Chokol before being tapped in by Paige LeBird, giving the Bobcats the 3-0 lead. Quinnipiac defeats Mount St. Mary's 3-0. QU will now play in the MAAC tournament semifinals on November 3rd. Rebecca Cook has been having an incredible season, and this new MAAC honor adds another accolade to her resume. Along with her first All-MAAC First Team Award, Rebecca Cook was also awarded the MAAC Golden Boot Award. Cook is the first recipient of this award. This award comes after her tallying 19 goals, leading the nation in goals, while also ranking up 45 points during the 2022 season so far. 11 of those goals have occurred during MAAC play. Over the season, Cook has had 41 shots on goal, 71 shots, and 7 assists. Cook will continue to be a key player for the Bobcats as they face off against Canisius on Thursday at 2 in the MAAC semifinals. Earlier today, the MAAC announced their awards for the 2022 women's soccer season. 7 Bobcats were named to the 2022 All-MAAC First Team, which includes Rebecca Cook, Courtney Chokol, Michaela Bailey, Olivia Scott, Emily Vandervliet, Kaylin Ngachos, and Olivia D'Annunzio. Lauren Triglione and Sofia Lospinoso were named to the 2022 All-MAAC Second Team, and Paige LeBird was named to the 2022 MAAC All-Third Team. Overall, 21 Bobcats were named to the All-Academic Team as well. With the MAAC semifinals just around the corner, here is women's soccer beat reporter Santino Mayoni with the Halloween-themed preview of the scariest players left in the tournament.
Thanks, guys. So we're going to take a look at my 4 scariest players left in the MAAC tournament. Obviously, we're going scary. It's a Halloween scary segment for you guys. You know how it is. We're going to look at the MAAC tournament bracket as it currently sits before getting into my players. Number 1 seed Quinnipiac Bobcats taking on the 5 seed Canisius Griffins in the semifinal matchup. Canisius got to this point by knocking off the 4 seed Rider Bronx on the road. They went into double overtime, penalty kicks. It took that for Canisius to move on to face Quinnipiac. Moving down below, we have the 2 seed Fairfield Stags taking on the 3 seed Niagara Purple Eagles. That's our second semifinal matchup, and Niagara got here by beating Marist Red Foxes, the 6 seed in the MAAC, in a convincing 3-1 victory. They'll move on and take on Fairfield. We'll go to the next slide now, though, and start previewing my scariest players left in the MAAC. Number 1 seed Quinnipiac, we'll start with them. They are the number 1 seed, of course. Rebecca Cook. The scariest player left in the MAAC, scariest player in women's soccer in the entire country this season, honestly. Rebecca Cook, 19 goals. It leads the MAAC, leads the nation in goals so far. 7 assists, 45 points, 41 shots on goal, and a pretty clutch player if you ask me. 5 game-winning goals on the season. Rebecca Cook has been phenomenal, definitely the scariest player for the Bobcats, and overall, probably my scariest player left in the MAAC tournament. Moving on to Canisius, I'm going to go with Jen Romero, another midfield/forward player. She did come off the bench. She played almost 700 total minutes this year. About 200 of those came from off the bench. She's been a good punch for them as a reserve while still playing a good starting role in the majority of their games in the latter half of the season. 3 goals, 1 assist, 7 total points, 13 shots on goal, 1 game-winning goal, so still kind of a clutch player there. Her stats don't compare to Rebecca Cook's, but that's not why I have her on this list. She could be one of the key factors as to how Canisius could pull the massive upset against Quinnipiac in the semifinal round. With her energy on the field, her ability to control the midfield, her playmaking ability, she's definitely the scariest player on that Griffins team. Let's go to the next slide so I can preview Fairfield and Niagara. We'll go to the Stags first. Forward Elle Scott. She was in the fall season of 2021. She was a member of the All-MAAC first team. This year she's got 5 goals, 7 assists, 17 total points, 28 shots on goal. And again, my theme continues there. 2 game-winning goals for Elle Scott on the season. She has been a great playmaker for them so far. Again, a member of the All-MAAC first team last year, one of their most consistent players. She is definitely one of the scary players to watch out for left in the tournament. And finally, last but not least, I'm going to go to Niagara. We got forward Annie Ivey, 7 goals on the year, 5 assists, 19 points, 24 shots on goal. And again, the theme continues, as I've been saying. 4 game-winning goals on the year. These players know how to close it out for their teams. Annie Ivey, in her rookie season, she was a member of the All-MAAC rookie first team. She was a great player in her first year when she was younger, has maintained that high level of play. Look out for her to make some big plays in this matchup against Fairfield as Niagara looks to play the Spoilers on the road against the Stags in that semifinal matchup. And that's all I have for my 4 scariest players left in the MAAC tournament. Thank you guys for watching. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Santino. We are going to take our first commercial break of the night, but do not go anywhere as we have men's soccer and field hockey.
We also have volleyball. Stick with us here on this spooky episode of Sports Paws.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Let's jump right back into it with a look at how men's soccer did when they faced off against Mount St. Mary's on Wednesday. The Bobcats would end up winning this game with a score of 5-0. Two players scored double-digit goals, Noah Silverman and Tomas Vacula. David Bercedo scored the remaining goal. Quinnipiac had 9 shots on goal, while Mount St. Mary's had 2. The Bobcats also had 2 saves, while Mount St. Mary's had 4. Quinnipiac had 2 corner goals alongside Mount St. Mary's 3. The Bobcats also racked up 18 fouls, while Mount St. Mary's had 10. Now let's take a look at the men's soccer team when they went up against Canisius on Senior Day. Quinnipiac men's soccer team took on the Canisius Golden Griffins as they celebrated their Senior Day in Hamden. 10 Bobcats were honored before the game, and they were gathered by their friends, family, and coaches after the ceremony took place. The players were ready to get the action underway. About 10 minutes into the first half, 2 seniors would make their mark on the game already, as David Bercedo finds some open space and dribbles past a few Golden Griffins before. He's passing it over to Brog Austin, who finishes with his left foot and gets into the bottom right corner of the net to give the Bobcats the early 1-0 lead. Later, in the first half, the Bobcats try to add on to their lead. Alex Hawley will give it to Tomas Vacula, who finds Eric Langwagen. He crosses inside for Bercedo, who tries for the bicycle kick, but he just misses it as it goes above the crossbar with that. The Bobcats took their 1-0 lead going into the half. Halfway through the second half, the Bobcats' offense strikes once again. After Alexander Sterngard crosses, David Bercedo gives a quick touch to Austin, and he does the rest, putting the ball into the back of the net for the second time today. Quinnipiac increases their lead to 2-0. The Golden Griffins would struggle to come back in this one, as they only had 1 shot on goal. Carl Netzel celebrates his 4th straight clean sheet by doing some kick-ups. With their 2-0 victory over Canisius, the Quinnipiac Bobcats have now secured a first-round bye in the MAAC playoffs. First-year goalkeeper Carl Netzel has just won not 1 but 2 MAAC Weekly Awards. Carl Netzel has been named MAAC Rookie of the Week as well as Defensive Player of the Week. This is Netzel's second time earning Rookie of the Week after he won it last week on October 24th. Netzel has totaled 8 wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties alongside his 36 saves. Recently, he added 2 shutouts to his 4 straight, giving him a total of 6 shutouts this season.
Now with the regular season starting to come to an end, let's see how the standings are in the MAAC. Up at the top is Quinnipiac with a record of 6-1-2 MAAC record, and Iona at second with a 5-0-4. Manhattan at third with a 5-1-2 record, Siena at fourth with a 3-2-4 record. At fifth is Niagara with a 3-2-4 record, Fairfield at 4-4-1, and finally rounding up the MAAC standings is Mount St. Mary's and Marist, the defending champs. With the Bobcats ending their regular season slate on Wednesday against Niagara, we'll see if they can clinch the regular season championship. Let's move on to the field hockey as Quinnipiac went up against Providence on Friday. Let's roll the tape. Quinnipiac faces Providence in their final Big East game of the year. Can the Bobcats close out conference play? Well, let's just jump right into the first quarter. Providence Ali DeCoste brings the ball into the circle, and Christina Torres catches out of position, and Friars graduate student Neve Goen finds the ball and slams it home. Providence go up 1-0. Now let's just jump into the second quarter. Junior Bella Carosa gains control of the loose ball in the offensive zone and rips a shot. The Friars go up 2-0 in the first half. Let's just jump straight into the fourth quarter as Stella Titmeyer controls the ball and scores off the penalty corner. This is the first goal for the Bobcats as they are going to keep on rolling. Juliana Capello carries the ball down the sideline and crosses the first-year Cameron Bauer, where she was able to one-time it back into the net. Titmeyer runs the baseline and crosses where Lucia Pompeo is able to make a connection as she scores. And also, Pompeo makes a run down the sideline where she tries to score, but Bowers is able to get her stick on the rebound and put it right past the goalie, 4-2, and that will be the end of the game as Quinnipiac wins 4-2 on their last Big East game of the regular season. That was the last time the Pompeo sisters went up against each other. Field hockey beat reporters Clever Streich and Keith Savage have more on the ongoing sibling rivalry.
A sibling rivalry was renewed today in Hamden.
Sophia Pompeo, a senior for the Providence College Friars, took on her little sister Lucia, a sophomore for the Bobcats, one final time. Who would come out with the ultimate bragging rights?
It's definitely tough. Obviously, I want her to do her best, but I want to do my best as well. But it's friendly competition. I would love.
The week before this game is brutal. We can barely speak to each other, but it's all in good fun. And then, I'll be calling her like normal tonight.
Coming into the game, it felt like Lucia had something to prove against her big sister. The last time Sophia was in Hamden, she had a game winner with 1 second left on the clock. Bobcats head coach Becca Main remembers that moment.
That was when Lucia was trying to make her decision on where she was going to go to school, and we thought that was going to ruin it for us. They are so tight and so close, and they talk to each other, on a daily basis. And this week was rough. Lucia would come in and be like, my sister and I got in a fight last night. All we did was we were arguing about this and that. So it's a great rivalry.
Promised to score not 1, but 2 goals in the first half to take the lead. But in the second half, the Bobcats fought back with not 1, but 2 goals. And it would come down to the younger sister, Lucia, as she scores the eventual game winner. Just like her older sister, who couldn't be happier for her.
It's awesome. I'm so proud of her and how I've seen such an improvement even from her freshman to sophomore year. So it's really exciting for me as her bigger sister to, see what she's going to do these next couple years.
The miraculous come-from-behind victory was also unforgettable for the Pompeo family, who were in the stands to see their daughters play together one final time.
It's great. A super proud moment having 2 girls at this level and playing against each other and doing what they love.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah. Great competitors, but great sisters too. They love each other, so it's fun to watch.
Lucia did indeed get her final laugh as Sophia got the loss in her last game at Providence.
However, sisterly love will always win out in the end, as the sisters will continue to support each other in their development as Lucia continues on her NCAA journey. Sophia, who knows what her future may hold. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Clever Streich.
And I'm Keith Savage.
Thanks, Clever and Keith. The field hockey team ended their season on Sunday against Sacred Heart. Let's see how they did. In their regular season finale, Quinnipiac field hockey will face an in-state foe, the Sacred Heart Pioneers. The Bobcats are trying to expand on a 2-game win streak and end the year on a high note. Starting in the first quarter, Quinnipiac, on a penalty chance corner, as the ball is passed to Olivia Howard. The senior rifles the shot for the opening goal, her first goal of the year. QU leads 1-0. Later in the first quarter, the Bobcats try to go up by 2. But a save from Samantha Maresca stops Juliana Capello's shot attempt. QU continues to lead 1-0. We'll fast forward to the third corner. It's a familiar sight in Hamden. Estella Titmeyer streaks with the ball to the circle, outmaneuvering Maresca as she scores. The Bobcats' lead is extended to 2. Then, in the fourth corner, senior MAAC Vorel will be substituted into 10 the goal one final time in her last NCAA game. Vorel and the Bobcats protect and grow the lead as Capello again fires and Lucia Pompeo channels the rebound into the cage for some assurance. QU leads 3-0. 3-0 is the final in Hamden. Quinnipiac closes out the season with a dominant victory at home. Let's move on to the court where the volleyball team went up against the top team in the MAAC against the Fairfield Stags. On Saturday, the women's volleyball team faced off against Fairfield where they would lose in 3 sets during the game. The team recorded 32 kills, 2 aces, 32 assists, and 32 digs. The loss against Fairfield puts the Bobcats' record at 7 wins and 14 losses. Their in-conference record stands at 6 wins and 8 losses. The Bobcats will now travel to New York to face the Manhattan Jaspers on Saturday, November 5th.
Now with the MAAC championships being right around the corner, let's see how the standings are so far. First place is in no other than the Fairfield Stags with a record of 13-1. Second place is Iona with a record of 11-14. Marist is at 11-14 as well. Siena fourth with a 10-5 record. Canisius with an 8-6 record at fifth place. Quinnipiac at 6 with a 6-8 record. And finally, rounding up the table and the MAAC standings are Ryder and Niagara. The playoffs are right around the corner for the Bobcats to look to keep the momentum going as they go up against the last place team in the Manhattan Jaspers on Saturday. We are going to take one final break of the night, but do not go anywhere. When we return, we got some news regarding women's and men's cross-country team as they competed in the MAAC championships and everyone's favorite top 5 plays. Stick with us on Sports Paws.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Joe, spot on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Let's keep it moving with some women's cross country as they competed in the MAAC championship. For the first time since 2015, the women's cross country team are MAAC champions. Graduate student Emily Young and junior Liv DiStefano were the main focuses for this title, as Young finished second place in the running and Stefano finishes third, which is the highest of her collegiate career. And first year Rachel St. Germain rounded out the top 5 with 21 minutes 32 seconds second time. The Bobcats will compete in the NCAA Northeast Regional Championships next Friday, November 11th at Columbia University. After the women's cross-country team's historic victory, the Bobcats also took home some end-of-the-year MAAC awards. Head coach Carolyn Martin would walk away with the 2022 MAAC Coach of the Year, as this is the second time that she has led Quinnipiac to the MAAC title. This is the 5th conference championship that she brought the women's cross-country team to. As it goes to the team, first year Rachel St. Germain would be named 2022 MAAC Rookie of the Year. St. Germain placed 5th in the MAAC, and she had 24 top 25 finishes, as she had 3 top 10 finishes during her time at Quinnipiac. Now let's switch sides, as the men's cross-country team also competed in the MAAC championship. The men's cross-country team placed ninth place at the MAAC championships on Saturday. Senior Cameron Starr led the way for the Bobcats with a 51st place finish. Kevin Carbello and Andrew Woodbine were the next 2 in line. The team would end up tying with Fairfield for 8th place. The Bobcats will also join the women's cross-country team, as they are going to compete in the NCAA Northeast Regionals Friday, November 11th at Columbia University. So, do you know what time it is?
No, Nick, I don't. But is it time to celebrate Halloween?
It's time for Top 5 Plays, my favorite part of the day. So if you don't mind, I'll get us started as we get to Top 5 Plays. There was a lot going on, so we're going to start at number 5. We hit the ice for women's ice hockey against Cornell. Cornell's Elise Weber tries moving around Logan Andrews, but Andrews kills the chance as she lays out to make her stop.
Moving on to play number 4, it is the scariest play in the MAAC. Rebecca Cook receives a long pass towards the goal, and she does a nice cross pass to Courtney Choko, who's blocked off the initial shot, but it's Paige LaBerge who butts it in for the final dagger. QU defeats Mount St. Mary's 3-0.
Shifting from one deadly offense to another, Davi Brisedo making moves at number 3. Brisedo finds Austin open on the left side of the field, and he fires a shot and scares William Howard back to the net. This was Austin's first of 2 goals of the game, as QU defeats Canisius 2-0.
On to play number 2, we move to the field hockey stadium to see the hottest team in the Big East. Stella Titmeyer drives down the field and gets past Samantha Maresca to extend the lead. QU defeats Sacred Heart 3-0.
And coming in at number 1, the scariest team in the country, women's ice hockey, Alessa Hoskin and Sadie Pierre are racing down the ice to stress out Deanna Frazier to provide the Bobcats with some breathing room, as we take a slow-mo and we see Alessa Hoskin doing the selfless task of passing to her line mate to the left to kill any chance of the Big Red to come back, as QU defeats Cornell 4-1. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching Sports Paws.
To keep up with all things Quinnipiac sports, be sure to check us out on Q30TV.com and check out our Twitter at Q30Sports. And be sure to download the Q30 app from the App Store.
From Jackie Drovo, I'm Nick Antoniadis. Have a wonderful night and happy Halloween.